What's up, nerds? I'm back again. We got another video today. Today we're going to talk about some side control escapes. I'm going to show you the ones that I use, that I like. We'll talk about them and break them down a little bit. And since I can't find a better training dummy, we welcome Gabe White, the Hemogoblin himself, back onto the map. So I'm going to have Gabe put me in side control, and we're going to walk through a couple of different escapes. We're going to start with the most basic, the easiest that everybody knows already, but we're going to do the basic regard. So I'm going to lay here. Gabe's going to put me in side control. We're going to start with reestablishing the guard. Notice where this hand is already. I have the forearm blade of my wrist under his chin and his neck. We can use this while he's framed up on the shoulder right here to separate for space. We can stuff into triangles. There's a whole bunch of stuff we can do with this frame. This frame right here is one of my go-tos, and I use it for almost every escape that I do. So I have the frame nice and tight. My other hand is gonna reinforce over the top, and what I wanna do is I wanna get Gabe's shoulder pressure out of my face. So as I cut and I pinch, I'm gonna roll one elbow into my belly button. See how that moves his head? And I'm gonna pull my other elbow in between his hip and the mat. So I turn. Look what that does to Gabe's body here. As I turn it, twist him up so I can easily find that knee through. Notice how I bring this arm with me. I keep this arm up nice and tight. If we transition into the guard from here, we have attacks that we can use right off of it. So another variation that you'll see a lot of the same escape. There's one frame in the neck, the other frame in the hip. So I take the forearm, the elbow, I put it in the hip. You can use the hand, but if Gabe is to drop his hip to the mat here, it sort of clears that out of the way. So if I use the elbow and he drops his hip to the mat, notice how that frame, let's clock this way, that frame still stays inside, so I can still work to get clearance and get my knee through. Let's say you tried the regard and it just isn't working. So we're gonna go through and we're gonna hit some escapes off of the ghost escape. So traditionally the ghost escape, frame, and notice where I have this other hand. Far side underhook all the way through, and I pin the back of my hand to the hip. I'm gonna rock to Gabe with my legs, and then on my way back, when I rock back, I'm gonna pop and make some space. So you can see I'm towards the hips here, I rock towards, I pop. Notice how I snatch his head to the mat. This frame that I had never leaves. It becomes a nice grip here. I snatch. If I let go, he's gonna come up and meet me, and I don't have a position established. So let's look at that one again. Frame one in the neck. Frame two, back of my hand towards the hip. Rock towards, rock away. Notice how I suck this through tight. We have darts that we can attack right off. We have head arm chokes and guillotines that we can attack right off. So this puts us in an escape straight into a series of attacks. So let's say I'm in the same situation. Gabe's been here before. He's rode this rodeo. So when he feels me build this frame and he feels this glued to his hip, he's gonna lock his hands together. So his hands are now locked. So if I were to try the ghost escape, I rock, I try to pop, I can't go anywhere. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna utilize the same underhook and the same frame in the neck, and I'm gonna use this to reverse the position. So that I know that he's clasped his hands together. I can feel it under my shoulder. So I'm gonna use this to my advantage because I know that if I lay on this and if his hands are touching, he cannot post. So what I'm gonna do is instead of rock and go, I'm gonna plant my feet, I'm gonna stuff his head towards my hips, I'm gonna punch with the underhook side here, and I'm going to roll over the pocket between our heads. So I'm here, bridge, punch. Clock into your position, or just stay in north, south, and right it. So we've hit a nice little variety of escapes here. Now let's say we've tried using the far side underhook, we tried using the frame of the neck, and that combo is just not working together. So what we're gonna do, I have the same frame here. We're not gonna move this. I'm gonna leave this, but let's say I can't get that underhook. I can't get the far side underhook across his hips. So instead, I'm gonna go back just like we were in the regard, where I'm using both frames to sort of shrimp and pummel my leg back through. Except I'm gonna work on bringing both knees inside. So what I'm gonna do is, as Gabe's here, he's heavy, I'm going to pop like a mini bench press. Not a lot of space is required. I don't need to push him so far away. but I'm gonna pop just enough to get both knees underneath the gate. Once I have this, my two grips, the one at the hip and the one at the neck, are gonna switch. I'm gonna drop to the elbow. This hand is reaching to the far side shin, not the one closest to me. I'm reaching under to the far side. From here, I flare the knee, and then I dump. So after I reach all the way through to the far side shin, I have the elbow pinched tight. I'm gonna dump. As I dump, I'm using this, see how this knee sort of steers Gabe out, right? It lifts his hips up over my other knee. So I'm not just trying to kick straight. He can fight that. I flare, stretch, dump. So another angle you can see what my legs are doing is I make this space, I circle through, I reach, far side grip, if you can see my hand right here, far side grip on the shin, and elbow. These grip change happens at the same time. So I go from here to here. Grip, grip, steer, dump, and then from here we have all sorts of options and entries that we can hit. So there's a nice little variety of escapes and reversals that we can use from the side control position. And they all work and utilize similar frames. So give those a shot. Let me know how it goes. Make sure you like, share, comment, hit the bell, subscribe, do all the good stuff. I'll see you guys in the next one.